Hello, Elite 8. Welcome to the first official video vlogcast of the Elite 8 season. It's been a while, but here we go. Tonight we have in store some reviews. We have some potting of players, I'm sure. We'll look into some good pickups. If I run out of material, we'll just go from there and we'll wing it. Next week we'll have obviously some results to go off, which is exciting. But right now we're just pretty much going to look at, in my opinion, what's good for this season, and we'll go from there. Don't mind if I take a seat. How good that we finally have football back. This time tomorrow we'll be sitting down with a nice little frothy, don't mind if I do, watching two teams, which I couldn't really care what the result was, but either way, footy's back. The big stuff's on Saturday. Carlton D's, Morals, the Blue Boys. Now, which game should I start with? I'll just randomly pick one out of the... Oh, let's start with Matt's team. Just because he's not actually playing anyone, we'll just look at some of the players that, look, I've highlighted throughout his team, his drafting, and I'll give you my thoughts. Max Gawn, obviously, you can't really go wrong, as I've said previously. This week he's going up against no cruiser. He's going up against a unknown ruckman in the name of Pitney. He should have a field day, but it'll just really depend whether he can hit it down to advantage. I mean, Cripps is a pretty daunting task to hit it to as an opposing midfielder, but we'll see how that works out for him. Regardless, it doesn't matter too much for Matt. It's probably 1 week where you prefer Gawn to be playing a nobody, so that it doesn't matter too much. He won't have to go in too hard. I wouldn't suspect he'd get injured, but footy's a funny thing, so we just don't know. His risk on, well, it wasn't really a risk. His pick on Tom Mitchell's probably turned out to be one of the better ones. Having not played for the last, 2 months, it's great that he's got, a Brownlow medalist of 2 years ago in his team. And I think that's probably nearly the pick of the draft at this point. Max Gawn slipped to him, and then he's also got Tom Mitchell, so that's great. And again, side bottom is the other player I've highlighted here. Loves the big stage. First game back in a while, as I've said many times. Yeah, the one question mark I do, I've just printed off teams from the internet, going by what they were last updated. I think there's a question mark around Hurley, so he'd be the one that I'd be looking at on Matthew's team to potentially replace and get someone else, or he may have some bench depth. I don't have those on my printouts. So Matt is going to get a very easy win this week. Projection of 1,646. Doesn't matter too much really though, does it? On to Josh the Sash versus Stevic Swindlers. Now I was looking through this team of John's, and I know I'm always pretty hard on John, but other than Fife, were we in the same draft? Like, who was your second pick? Or your third? I'm guessing it was Josh Dunkley, but that's just me stabbing in the dark. Or was it... Did you reach for Rowan Marshall? Like... I just don't this is your team. Like, I just don't understand what's going on here. Like, you've got Fiorini on your field. Parrish should be on the waiver wire. So much unknown with Mitch Wallace. Like... I don't know, John. Do you know something I don't know? Because the team you're playing against, and you look, and you've got Brodie Grundy, you've got Mitch Duncan across the half back line, better than anyone in your defensive side. Sam Petreski-Seaton. So I'm just not quite sure where your research went, John, because Henners, I think, should beat you comfortably. I can't see it any other way. The only question mark I do have for Henners would be, is there a better option for Gresham or a Suckling? But look, by Sunday, I'd say you'd have your game tied up, and it wouldn't even matter too much anyway, because John's team is deplorable. Thank you. On to the next game I've got here. It is 165 not out versus the Prestigia Homosexual. Look, this one could... Adam's team relies on his first round and his second round going very big. If Bont doesn't have a good big game, it's all over. I do like Zach Williams in his team. Another player that needs to perform for his team to do well is De Goey. I did see on the news that Josh Caddy is out for this week, so Adam may want to update that one. What else? Mitch Robinson in your midfield. I've got him in my other Supercoach team. I don't mind him, but you just don't know. It's another unknown. Petrarca, I think he went huge for round one, or it might have been pre-season. It was that long ago, I can't remember. That I'm just not sure whether he's there. Good. Sydney Stack's another one. Just don't know. As for Tom's side, I said at the start of the season that I really liked his GWS trio. Again, Josh Kelly, Caniglio, Whitfield. You can't really go wrong there. But if North pull something out of their arse, you could have three midfielders that struggle. So that's why I just try to keep players a little bit separate. Another player that I'm a little bit questionable is Wingard. I think he spent too much time on the social media with all this Black Lives Matter and all that sort of stuff, that it may just be maybe a bit mental this week, and he may not play as good a football as we know. But look, they could all just be itching it a bit, and we could be fine. Another one is Brad Hill. New club, he's only played one game at the new club. Projected score of around 74. You just don't know what you're going to get from a player at a new club. My tip, only because I think GWS are going to maul North Melbourne, will be GWS. Will be 165 not out, which he probably should just rename his team to GWS, because that's all he is. On to the next game. Didax versus Hogan's Cousins. Now Didax coming off a stellar performance in round one, albeit that it was 3 months ago. Coming against Mitch, who hasn't actually played against an opponent as yet after having the bye. Looking at Dan's team, however, Jack McRae, you just know what you're going to get. You're going to get 100 at least, and it's going to be a sturdy season for him. Josh Kennedy, again, as he's getting older, seems to be getting better like a wine. That's the Sydney one. And versus Essendon, who I don't think stand a chance at all. I would be thinking that he'll go large. I've said it a few times. I believe that Riley O'Brien is one of the best ruckmen in the competition at the moment, behind the big two, obviously. My question mark in Dan's team would be Tom Lynch, a big forward, hasn't played for a while, may consider looking at someone else that's got a midfield option. But other than that, look, Dan, I can't really criticise Dan's team too much. He mauled me and I put up a great score, so well done. As for Hogan's Cousins, again, Dangerfield, you know you're going to get something good out of Danger unless he's injured. Even if he's injured, he's probably going to put up 120 anyway. But Dan, maybe it might be worth not giving you a good rub down this week so you can get the win. I don't know, you tell me. Clayton Oliver for Mitch, look, could go either way this week. He's a very good midfielder. However, I think if he goes head-to-head with Cripps, he might struggle this week. We just don't know. Like I said previously, with Max Gorn playing against no ruckman, he could dominate. Like the midfield of Melbourne could go either way. It could be just an absolute dominance from them, or it could be you just don't know. The other player on Mitch's team that I'd highlighted was Tim Kelly. Wanted to go home to play more footy. Let's go to Gold Coast. Bring your family with you. Only player that's doing that. But okay, make up the rules as you go, AFL. Got to look after those new players with those new requests, I guess. The question mark I have about your team is a St Kilda player in Sinclair. I just don't think he's really up to being in a Supercoach team. I think there's better options out there. But look, I'm often wrong. So if you like it, you stay with it. but I think Dan will be too good this week again, unfortunately. So Dan will start the season 2-0, and Mitch will start at 1-1 with the bye being the first week. On to the much anticipated Very Bets versus Sion Warriors. I'll start with Jessica Darcy's team. Look, he's got my boy Patrick Cripps, as I've said multiple times. Max Gawn is the only ruckman playing this weekend in that game. I believe that Cripps and the other Carlton midfielders will be able to read the tap, but you just don't know. Like, they also haven't played footy in however long. I think the shorter quarters may suit someone like Cripps. Same with Clayton Oliver. Less need for being on the bench. More time to stay on the ground with the 16-minute quarters. And the other one was the Yo Gaff. Fairly sure Gaff, I don't even remember. Footy's been that long. I'm not even sure if Gaffs are playing or that was the year before or what's going on there. But he's a good player. You know what you're going to get when he is playing. They are playing the Gold Coast, so you could even put Elliot Yeo, Natanui, any of those sort into that conversation. They're going to dominate. And the player I do like who I've had previously in a lot of my Supercoach seasons, but don't this year, is Jack Crisp. Very good player, but you just don't know. These blokes haven't played footy in a while, but look, I look at the rest of Jess's team. I may have said Mitch a few times, so I do apologise if I have then, Jess. I look at the rest of his team and I go, Tim Membry, shouldn't he be in the bye? Like, Dylan Shield, are they any good? Like, you hear all these rave reports about him being the next big thing at Essendon. Yeah, he's trimmed down, but he also hasn't had any contact on him. Gunson, you've got a lot of players that are averaging or projected 70s. So I'm just not quite sure where you're going to get your points from. Cripps will put up, 110 no doubt. But he's not going to put up 740 to beat my Very Bets. And as we're speaking about Very Bets, let's get over to them. Some great drafting here by Mr. Tuvey. Lockie Neal with his first pick, followed by Dustin Martin. Like, Dusty loves the big stage. He doesn't care whether there's a crowd or nobody there. He's all about himself regardless. So he'll get the pill. He'll kick a couple and put up a good 100 for me, if not more, hopefully. Lockie Neal, like I said, can't go wrong with him. Can't at all. Like, it's Lockie Neal. Playing against Freo or travelling now on the Gold Coast for the next however long. Freo stink. And my other pick that I'm going to pay mention to is Jack Martin. After round one, when he just had his own football in a loss, I'm not sure if there's anyone from Melbourne that can run with someone like Jack Martin. Look, I am very Carlton-minded, as you can see. Carlton everywhere, but playing good football, this kid, you watch. He'll come top 3 in Carlton's BNF this year, and he'll do very well. I will say, I couldn't see everyone's bench, just the way that Supercoach is allowing me at the moment, but I did, I will talk about my bench that I did bring someone in this week. When the news of Harley Benell coming in this week, I brought him straight into my side. He'll be on the bench, but I think it's a free swing, as I was saying to Adam today at work. I can't see... Like, I picked up Buddy, and obviously that didn't pay off. And on my bench, I can pick up another player, and it doesn't pay off. It doesn't matter. And if he gets 150, then grass. Good value. Could potentially trade him out. See how we go. As for everything else, that's pretty much my review. I'll go back through my tips and who I said for each round. I think I'll comfortably beat Jess. I'm willing to put a wager that he won't get him within 150 points. If you want to take it, Jess, that's up to you. I think the Didax will beat Mitch. Dan's arguably going to put up the biggest score again this week. I think I might trump him, but we'll see how we go. 165 not out. Should comfortably deal with the Prestigia homosexuals, as I said. John the Sash, didn't even realise... like I said, I don't even know where he drafted from, so I think Hennes should have him covered. and Matt playing the bye. So that's where we are with that one. As I said in the group chat, next week will be more in depth. I'll have some more form to go off rather than 6 weeks of no footy and just pretending to know what I'm talking about. I'll try and get someone around one night and we'll do a guest interview and we'll do a bit of back chat and a bit of banter and go from there. Also, I'll try and work out an app where I can put some video footage, and I'll maybe put a TV screen behind me and we'll work something out from there. But look, that's really about all I can cover tonight. I guess the main thing is that we're all ready for the end of for the remainder of the year to go. I'm not quite sure how finals work from here. I don't think it'll affect us too much, being a small league. But look, it'll be interesting to see, and nonetheless, I can't wait for footy to be back. Hopefully I can have a beer with a couple of you this weekend, and yeah, we'll go from there. Thanks, boys.